Hello and welcome to Tuesday, where I talk about money and pricing and packaging and all of these things that are so essential if you want to create a life and a business that feels really good for you, your success pick and mix. Today I want to talk about offerings and designing things that your clients and your potential clients are absolutely going to love. A little bit of a backstory on this. I have never just followed a framework of what other coaches have done. And I know that there was such a pattern. There was a framework of like, well, if you're at this and you want to go to here, this is what you need to do. And these are the numbers. And it all became a bit generic. You could almost go on another coach's website and notice who they trained with or who they're in a mastermind with. It all just became a little bit samey. And I guess because I've always had a portfolio career and I've always done bespoke work and been in conversations with people, I've always had that approach. And sometimes that has meant that I have done things seasonally because I've really felt there was a gap in the market that was missing. And also having 15 years of being a coach, there has been that sense where I've really got a lot of data now. I've got a lot of insight, so many different types of people that I've worked with. And every time I do a session or I work with somebody, it always just gives me insight. And, you know, I'm not hard on myself and like, well, this is what I need to do next time. But I'm just like, oh, if I could add a bit more of this, then that's really going to work. I often think about this in terms of wedding planners. You can plan a wedding all you like, but until you see the flow of where the chairs are going to be or what's going to happen in situ, that's when you must learn on the job. So let's talk about, first and foremost, what is happening before your clients and your customers come to you. This is really about the before. And in order for somebody to make a decision, to change, to hand over money, to look for a different way, it must be enough of a reason, enough of, say, a wake-up call or a struggle or a problem or a recurring issue for them to make that move. Now, I often think that people talk about, say, coaching, for example, as a nice to have. Well, it's all right for them to have a business coach. And actually, there are people who get to the stage in business where they're like, I have to have a business coach because I now have a team of 20 and I'm somehow, because I think everybody's been in that point, like, how did I get here? You're responsible for those 20 people. Your business needs to pay them. And so you need to up your game the whole time. It's not just a case of like, oh, that's an expense that I can't really have at this time. It's always about upping your game. I've certainly found this in terms of my acting. Even though I went to drama school and I trained at one of the best places in the world from 2000 to 2003, I can't dine out on that in 2024 on that alone. That was 3 years of my life between 18 and 21. I'm now nearly 43. I've got to keep that moving. I've got to be in that training mode all the time. So the first thing I want you to do with your clients, your customers, is to set the scene. And you can do this from having a conversation with people and saying, what is really going on? Or you can look at people that you've worked with before and really notice all of those things, the language that they're using. So often for me, it's people come to me when they are stuck. And there are various emotions that come from there. Stuck. And that could quickly turn into shame. I'm not good enough. I thought I'd be further along than I am right now. Everybody else is doing all of these things and I'm not making progress. Sometimes it's a mindset shift. You know, people come to me with these big plans and yet it's not happening. So there's something blocking or stopping them. Something's happening underneath. Sometimes people are really struggling with the action. So the procrastination, the perfectionism, the wanting to do all of the things, and then they get stuck because they then overwhelm themselves and they get burnt out, all of these things. Sometimes people get stuck in not making a decision and they stay where they are for way too long. And then when it comes to actually doing it, it just feels too much. I want you to go in deep with your clients, your customers, what's happening. And this will work if you sell products, if you sell services. You know, a product could be, say you sell winter coats, for example. And every year somebody goes, well, I've got this winter coat already and I've had it for the last 10 years. It's part of my identity. Who am I to be spending this much on a winter coat? In order to sell your winter coats, you have to show these people why this winter coat is going to be incredible for them. What's it going to give them? Maybe you mix it with other pieces, like this old kind of scruffy duffel coat that you've had for years and years. Actually, it doesn't give you that chicness that you might require from the school run into hopping on the bus and going straight to work. I want you to go into all of that and really trust and use all your knowledge here. Number 2, I want you to think about how they would place their order in terms of what they want. And this is an opportunity for you to incorporate these various things into your pricing mix. So when you're thinking about your offerings, I like to think about it as a menu. And there are some people who will only put one thing on their menu. That's how they like to work. This is all I do. I don't know, VIP days. And it's this, and or photographers, for example. I'm having some headshots done tomorrow. She always just has one package. It's 2 hours. You come to me. This is what it costs. This is what's required. Off we go. Bingo. So when you're thinking about these things, I want you to think about all of the insider knowledge. So lots of the products and the services are essentially for the same type of person, but what they require within that is different. There are some people who want a really low cost thing. They need to get on with it, in hidden moments, maybe in the morning or late at night after the kids have gone to bed, or maybe when they're, at school or something's happening, or they're doing something at the weekend, and they're really thinking about not turning up for a big year-long mastermind program because they don't know. They don't know where they're going with this. Maybe they're not sure whether they want to leave their job at the moment. However, there are some people that I work with and they will say to me, I want everything that you have. Right now, I'm ready. I want to do it at this larger, big, exciting pace, etc. And equally, I can work with those. So really thinking about all the parts of the experience or the product, from designing it to delivering it, is going to be really powerful. Number 3, what do you know about your clients that they don't know about themselves? This is golden. And this is where you can really lean on the fact that you are an expert in this situation. Meaning, there is such an opportunity for you here to say, it's all right, I've got you. And I was thinking about this the other day, and actually a client said to me, I was having a chat with her the other day, and she said, who do you have in your world to help you with your business? And I listed these various things. And she said, yeah, that's so important because you do all of these things for us. And that, again, was really interesting for me. So one of the things that I know my clients really experience is this thing of feeling really great. They leave a session like, yeah, let's go, let's do all of the things. But the actual action taking or getting things in motion is sometimes the trickier thing. Now, when I left coaching school, it was very much the conversation around, well, it's all to do with the client. It's nothing to do with you, and that's it. However, I have learned to add in accountability here, and I know how powerful it is. And so when a client has a session with me, the next day they are maybe feeling all the feels of like, how am I actually going to do this? But I'm there at the end of the phone and I can help and support them every step of the way. Number 4, results, momentum, and connection at every stage. Now, depending on what you're designing here, you might not need to add in those things. I have always worked on the theory that if somebody purchases something from me, I want them to get the result that they desire. And I also know that people are human beings as well. I mean, that goes without saying. I know that they're human beings. So in this circumstance, I really want to have those touch points where I'm in conversation with my client or my customer. And too often I have heard this story of somebody saying, I purchased this product and then I got lost in the whole process. Or I thought it would be an intimate mastermind and it's not. Like there's that person who was the face of the marketing strategy is nowhere to be seen. When you have results, momentum, and connection at lots of different points, there's a sense that things are happening. People feel connected, seen, heard, they're in that dialogue. And when they are accountable, essentially, they are going to be supported. So you can look at this in terms of products, things like your parcel is on its way today. Or if you book an Uber, you can see where it is on the map and how long the car's going to be. All of these points of connection are so, so key. Number 5, edit and add to support every step of the way. So when you look at how you're doing your results and momentum and connection, maybe there are things that suddenly are a little bit outdated in terms of the way that you work. Or maybe you used to promise all these things and then suddenly your life's changed and you're like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Or I need to get somebody to support this. I need somebody to help me run my community. Or I need to film some of this content so it doesn't rely on me being live. There are so many ways to do this. And I think with your pricing menu, it is that thing that can work really beautifully seasonally. If you look at a pub menu, for example, if I was going in around this time of year, October, I am expecting to see something quite different from, say, April. I love it when people cook seasonally, when it's like, oh, there's a butternut squash risotto or a really lovely mushroom stroganoff, that kind of cozy October vibes. You can work this. And so this means that you have the opportunity to constantly check in. How are my prices sitting? How's this package? Is it selling? Is it connecting? Is it landing? And if you would like help with that, of course, there are several ways that I can support you. The first is a brand new program that I've got called Make More Money Your Way. And that's in my under £100 shop. There's a couple of other things in there as well. Equally, if you want to go deep, go into Create Your Income Pie. And there are 3 ways that you can access that program. The first is an online version. The second is working with the online version and a strategy session with me. And the third is all about your online session and working with me for a month on quite an intimate basis. So I will leave all the details down below. Thanks for watching. I hope it's got the creative juices flowing and I'll see you later. Bye.